The Queen of Sheba heard about the great wisdom of Solomon. She couldn't believe it. She decided to go to Israel and meet with King Solomon with a list of hard questions and test him out. So she organized a band of servants to go with her and selected gifts to give to the king. Oh. She arrived in Jerusalem with a caravan of camels carrying gold and jewels and spices. She met with the king and asked her list of hard questions. Solomon answered every one. He had no problem carefully explaining each one to her. She was amazed at the palace that he had built and the variety of food at every meal and the way his servants were dressed and the offerings that he would take to the temple for sacrifice. She said to him, "Everything I heard about you is true, but I wouldn't believe it until I came here and saw it for myself. Now I find that I wasn't told half of what was true about you. May your God continue to bless you as you carry out justice and righteousness." She gave him a half a ton of gold and more spices than had ever come to Jerusalem before. He also gave her many gifts when she and her servants went back home. Every year, Solomon was given 25 tons of gold in addition to the normal trade. Because of this, he started covering everything with gold. Ornaments and cups and plates. He had so much gold that he didn't use silver at all because he didn't think it had any value. He made 200 large shields, each one made with 15 pounds of hammered out gold. He made 300 shields, each made with 4 pounds of gold. In all the world, there was no one as rich and as wise as Solomon. He accumulated a vast herd of horses for his military. He had these shipped in from neighboring countries in that region of the world. Unfortunately, he also accumulated women, which was in direct violation of God's law. He had 700 wives, all of them daughters of kings. And each one came worshiping the gods of her country. In addition to that, he had 300 concubines. When he became an old man, these women convinced him to build a shrine to each one of their gods. Before long, all the hills around Jerusalem had shrines on them to false gods. He started to burn incense at these places and offer sacrifices. Finally, he stopped worshiping the Lord God and joined his wife to worship these idols, and wickedness filled his heart. God was angry with Solomon because he had departed from following the ways of his father David. He said to Solomon, "I will take your kingdom and break it in two, I will give a portion to one of your servants. I won't do this during your lifetime because of my promises to David. But your son will lose most of your kingdom. At that point, God allowed the enemies of Solomon to organize. And from that day on, there was no longer peace in Israel. Finally, Solomon died. He had been king for 40 years.